The Swans gave the Saints a fierce test in round 1. They smashed the Crows in round 2, and now they host Richmond at the SCG. A side they've beaten by an average margin of 59 points the last 7 times they've met. They'll be extremely keen to record a win at home, considering they've lost their last 3 here. And the Tigers, well, they haven't won here at the SCG for 5 years. They've only managed 64 points on average in their last 5 appearances here. They lost to the Bulldogs by 72 points in round 2. That was after a flogging at the hands of the Blues in round 1. So plenty to play for Richmond. We're joined by a couple of absolute legends of the game in Rowan Smith and Tony Shaw. Plenty to play for both sides. We know the Swans can jump straight up into the 8, and the Tigers, well, they really need a little bit of salvation tonight.
Oh, they do. They just need to be competitive, Jason. And the Swans, they're a lot more potent than we've seen them in the years gone by. Normally a defensive side, but had a lot of goal kickers and scoring freely.
And that's the thing, if they can win the ball in the midfield, especially on this small SCG ground, get it up to some of their stars that are playing in the forward line at the moment, they're going to kick a big score tonight.
It's a great opportunity for the Swans tonight. They're outside the 8 on percentage only. Take us through the lineup there, Shorey.
Well, they've been fantastic. Got all their key players who have come from other clubs. Seaby's had an impact. Bradshaw not so much because he's been injury prone, but that big body at full forward. McGlynn with 5 goals last week. And I love Mumford in the ruck. I think he's going to be a 10-year player for the Sydney Swans. And they've got that senior core, Kirk, Bolton, and those types of players have been around for a while.
Plenty of experience in that lineup, particularly from goal to goal. It is an absolute beauty. Ryan O'Keefe, he's going to be an important player.
Well, he is important because he kicked, 3 goals last week. You would know he gets a lot of possession, works up and down the ground. The other thing, all the scoring activities the Sydney Swans have been involved in this year, he's been involved in 41%. So if you can stop him having an impact, Smithy, you can stop them from probably winning the game.
He's an absolute star, Shorey, and I'm probably going to give you a little bit of a glimpse of the lineup. Who maybe pick him up just before the bounce, but he's been on fire.
He is an exciting form. Let's have a look at that Tigers lineup, Smith, because they've made 6 changes, and it does look a slightly stronger or more physical side than we've seen over the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's right. Damien Hardwick's picked a few bigger bodies. Shane Tuck, Ben Cousins, Matt White comes in for the side with adds a little bit of speed. Dean Polo maybe have a run with play, but Alex Rance is a big body player, and Relton Roberts is coming back in. Made his debut in round 1, but had a little bit of an indiscretion last week. So with those guys coming in, but Dustin Martin.
Jackson. All the way back to defensive 50 more. He's only got one-on-ones ahead of him. In fact, he's got Dustin Martin now short with the handball. From one back flank to the other. Dangerous. Cochin makes a good contest. Free kick, though. CB's ball.
Yeah, that's a dangerous kick from Dustin Martin. I know he's going to be a player of the future, but he's just got to make sure you either get the elevation or the penetration on the kick to get the man.
Lewis Roberts-Thompson, not known for his goal kicking, runs to 50, sets sail, and still not known for his goal kicking. LRT. Didn't quite slip that one through. And McGuan, with 2 balls on the ground, asked to bring it back.
Sure, you mentioned Shane Tuck on one half-back flank. Richard Tambling's actually on the other half-back flank, so Richmond are going for a little bit of drive and a little bit of run out of their backline tonight.
Now, there's a little bit of confusion here. This is a free kick to Bradshaw. What for?
Oh, up the ground. The umpire behind player said Simmons has he done something behind play, and so then it has to be just turned over. Bad discipline.
High contact again,
So Bradshaw becomes the 48th player in AFL, VFL history to kick 500 career goals.
There's a lack of discipline there from Troy Simmons. The umpire said high contact with the elbow. Now, it was the second one. The first one was fine. It was the second one where he lifted the elbow and got him under the jaw.
Tyrone Vickery doing some ruck work. Gave it away, though, unfortunately for him, to McGlynn. Fed off the handball, and again, the Swans looking dangerous at half forward. Quick fire handball, Hanbury, back to McGlynn, floats it toward goal. He was hot last week, he's still hot tonight. Grundy. Back inboard. Malcheski.
Kick.
McGlynn. They're all inside 50. Jack is in there, and so too is O'Keefe. Well, they had Bradshaw, Goods, peeling to a pocket each, and then he had a heap of options in the middle, and he's gone to one of the most accurate kicks in the team, Ryan O'Keefe.
They're just picking Martin. McGlynn, you know, if a bloke kicks 5 goals the week before, you'd think you'd be saying the player who plays on him in defence, and he probably won't get past the centre circle. He won't go into defence too much. You have to be on his shoulder. He found 15 metres in. That's either good work ethic by McGlynn or bad defence.
He's been an absolute gilt-edged player all his career. Ryan O'Keefe kicks another one. Sheep. Cousins back from what we're told was knee soreness. Of course, had the stomach ailments for the good part of a month before that. Tuck with the handball, stolen by Moore. He might centre it. He does. And again, a new recruit, Josh Kennedy, seems to have the chemistry to know where the holes are.
It's all a little bit easy at the moment when you're going forward, the Swans. They're just running a little bit harder, working into space. And the obvious difference is using the ball better by foot. They identify the target and they hit it. We've seen Richmond with a few opportunities. They've missed the target. The Swans, they're not missing.
Put them 4 goals up. I won't be on MasterChef anytime soon, but this is the recipe for disaster. Newman finds Jackson. Yet to score a goal, and they conceded the first 5 goals to Carlton in round 1. There's 2 balls on the field at the moment. You can see one in the goal square. Play continues.
Gathered by the goal.
Great mark. Good work, and that is a very good mark to Kennedy. Malcheski. Oh, Bradshaw. That is spectacular.
Too easy. Again, he's 5 metres clear. Too easy and great disposal by foot, the Swans. Well, and that's something they've absolutely majored in early this year. I think they're the #1 ranked kicking efficiency team in the competition over the first couple of weeks. 73% last week. That's a very, very good rate.
Jason, that was no longer than higher than 3 metres in the air, over about 55. Great kick.
496 of his goals. His 222 games with the Lions. 5 goals to 0.
Just as soon as they get control of the ball, great turnover play.
Tigers are 90 seconds away from a goalless term. Vickery gave it to Deledio, handled it over the head of McGuan, made it tough for Polo. Goods, grabs, high kick, under of McGlynn, can't take the mark. Kieran Jack spins out of trouble. Oh, that's got to be in the back.
Well, poor old Chris Newman found himself 1 out against 3 players there. He committed to the one that had the ball. The unfortunate thing was he went a bit high and he went over the top, spun away from Nason, and then you could see 1 out to the right. He had 1 ahead of him. They were just queuing up to kick the goal, the Swans. Chris Newman, give me a chance, will you, Umpy? How many do I have to cover?
50th game tonight for Kieran Jack. One of the best stories to come out of the Sydney Swans since they've come here to Sydney. The Swans, son of the rugby league great Gary Jack, of course, turned his attention to this great game, and he's pretty good at it. 6 goals to 0. Wobbles it wide, Kieran Jack.
And that's one of the knocks, unfortunately, Shane Tuck. The kick missed Deledio, and all of a sudden it's back with interest.
Well, sure, certainly didn't miss Jude Bolton. Goes to the top of the 50, Moore. Well, skill is one thing, but a lack of work rate is almost unforgivable. It's a 7-goal-to-0 start.
1 off the inside of the big toe.
Both ruckmen missed it. Martin couldn't get a decisive handball away. Jetta bumped off it. Nason had it but lost it, so too Kennelly. Jude Bolton, it must be slippery. He had it but slipped it to Jetta. And 3-on-1 here, and the one is Morton. Gets the handball up. Cousins, he overran it. First game back, they might be a bit rusty. Hanbury, Kennedy with the look away handball, if you don't mind. And now over the head from Shaw back to Malcheski. Party trick from the Swans. Goods. He's got Jack over the top. Knows it. Other options inboard. How many options do you want? McGlynn.
He's won 2 best and fairest.
5-goal game last week. He's got 2 this week, McGlynn. It's 8 goals to 0. One. Hanbury backs back, takes the mark.
You just can't kick it to the opposition like that. You get possession, you've got to keep it. You've got to find a way to hit an opponent.
Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
Teammate, I should say.
To the back. Jesse White. sold the dummy to 2 there. Gave to McVeigh, who was owed one after that lead that was ignored earlier, and he finds Mumford.
And again, you've got 3 or 4 Swans running into space. All the Tigers are ball watching around the contest.
Good point.
In 6s and 7s, no one taking any responsibility for an opponent.
If we get a replay of this kick into the forward 50, you have a look how many Richmond players are there just going to that man.
No chance of impact in the contest.
By playing man on man, you get 4 players going to the ball carrier. That means it's such an easy flip over the top or a kick like that on that occasion.
Just the 3 goals in his 21 games for the Cats. Shane Mumford yet to kick one as a Swan. He has now 9 goals to 0. Sure wide. Craig Bolton, who the Swans could have had. They could have had Craig Bolton. The only reason Sydney got him after he was delisted by Brisbane is because the Saints and Richmond didn't take him in the pre-season draft. Saints took Cowell, pick 1, and Richmond passed with pick 2 in that pre-season draft, and the Swans took him pick 3, and he has been a superstar pickup, Craig Bolton. Tigers trying something along the wing. Edwards, can he hit a man? Not a lot to go to. Post again. He's got 2 to beat. Roberts Thompson.
Oh, they're out again.
Moore the target. Jackson, both fall. Jackson first up. Moore looks hurt. He's coming straight to the bench. Nason, goal scoring opportunity here for the Tigers. Nason sits it up. Roberts Thompson, post. Roberts Thompson front spot again. Good dumping tackle. Post gets a handball up. Revolt shoots it out. Edwards. Hallelujah. Richmond have their first.
So he's adapting to that new role. It's going to be a tough one for him. He's so used to just chasing the ball on ball and getting plenty of it. Now playing at half back.
First game of the season and first game under the new coach as Martin lost it. McVeigh gathers, gives to Jude Bolton. Put it in the book. Put it in the book. They've got 10. 52 points the margin. Mumford gets his own work. Slips a handball out. Jack, how's that? So Malcheski lurking inside 50 on his own. All set up by Big Mummy.
Well, he started forward in this third quarter. And
Shaw's gone back.
Again, just playing in front. When that quick scrubby kick comes, it inevitably lands short. And the forwards need to play in front. You heard Rowan Smith talk about his kicking. 10 kicks at 100% thus far. Certainly doesn't want to block the copybook here.
And slots it. Biggest lead of the game tonight. 58 points. Morton short.
He's up to
Jackson.
22, McGlynn. Equal leader on the ground with Jude Bolton.
Seaby getting back. Vickery. Read that well. Used the body. Nason. Did he hit a target? Goes top of the square. Simmons. 1 arm. It's 11 goals to 2. Richmond fans haven't had a lot to cheer about. Finally they do now. Play on for Grundy. Little 1-2 with Hanbury, whose handball back was a bit low for comfort. Nason, and umpire initially called play on, but another umpire came in, Sam Hay, and said no, too high.
And it was the right decision. Now, we've got to identify a target very quickly.
Unless he kicks it. Gee, he gives it some sky.
That is a ridiculous kick.
Mumford, well, Rewalt made it look like a great kick. And kicks a rare goal.
Good lead from Simmons up the line. He ignores it.
Newman. Wobbles one to full forward. Mumford up. Got a hand on it. Craig Bolton had it but lost it. Daniel Jackson likewise. Simmons thrown down by Matner. Ball comes free. O'Keefe, Kennelly in tight and beautiful. Kennelly, great to have you back, Ty. Handball a little untidy. Grundy bumped off it. Tambling, Nason, he could go for goal from 48.
He can kick.
Finally, goes for the big sticks and gets them.
Hey.
Connor shortish through hands. Marcheski, Kirk, Roberts Thompson, White.
You saw a despairing lunge, but a missed tackle from Relton Roberts. Haven't seen a lot of defensive work from him as a small forward tonight. He's had just the 5 possessions and has registered a behind, a kick off the ground that hit the the goal post. But you'd just like to see him work a little bit harder defensively, a little bit more desperate to lay that tackle instead of just reaching out for the jumper with one hand.
Well, you might be able to change Richard Tamling. You know what Tamling's done in the back line. Then say, OK, go down in the back line and have 1 quarter in the last quarter and just find out how hard it is when it's coming down quick. A learning curve for the youngster.
Margin at the moment 42 points. It was 52 at half-time. Kirk.
Well, they've done well, the Tigers, Dwayne. They've done well. Their clearances have gone up. Inside 50s, they have 3 more, so it's been a good
Bradshaw.
quarter.
Well, Kelvin Moore mistimed his jump there. He just mistimed the jump. Found himself underneath the footy, and Daniel Bradshaw, he's a wily old character. Very experienced forward. Has played at both ends. Have a look at Moore come from the side. He goes a little bit early, a little bit from too far away. Can't get there. And Daniel Bradshaw passed from a similar spot before. Won't be passing this time, Shorey.
What's the mark?
No.
Well, his old mate Jonathan Brown's been on fire.
What's he doing coming
I'm
off
kicking him too, Jono.
They're a point in front in this third term. And they're going to be, look, they're going to be very small steps, and it's going to take a long time for Richmond. I don't think anyone is shying away from that fact, certainly not Damien Hardwick.
Connors down the middle. Deledio. Handball just missed the target there, Edwards. Time ticking. Kirk. Bradshaw.
And that's what hurts you. I mean, with all due respect, I thought the handball was okay. A couple of teammates, Matt White goes over.
Well done, Matt White.
Edwards on the back, but you can't fumble like that. You've got to grab the ball first and then worry about what you're going to do with it, not spend it too quickly, because a fumble like that costs you a goal.
Tell you what, it's great though for Matt White to go over, Jason, because Edwards would be feeling low. At least someone went with. They all deserted you. It's not great.
It's a 4-goal night so far for Daniel Bradshaw. Connors can get and go. Down the corridor, lead comes short. Rance.
1 metre back. Lewis.
At least they're playing with some more confidence, the Tigers. Throws it up long. Morton used the body. Dives back in, gets up. Tried to get a handball out. Relton Roberts is hurt. He's down and hasn't moved. Grundy, Jude Bond, they're playing on over Relton Roberts. Whilst he's down. Kennelly.
He just moved. The right leg moved.
And out wide, Matner finds Jetta, who can move. Boy, can he move. Here he goes, has another one. The Jets are on. Puts it on the boot towards Goods. Use of the body, good from Goods. Well, as Goods as he gets. Slides it home for a goal.
Just had a reload on the bounce. I want to ask you a question about whether the players have to go back to the same position after they start again.
Deledio, off and flying. Sends a high ball. Revolts down there. Roberts Thompson. It's been a good battle. Back of the pack. And it's rolled through. All the way home. Richmond free. Vickery's ball.
Yeah, I think Paul Roos would understand it. He doesn't get upset too very often. But look, to Richmond's credit, they've been better.
Polo dropped it.
That was just dreadful.
Shaw tunnels his way through. Gives it over to McGlynn. They're raffling it. McGlynn, Goods. Someone kick it. McGlynn.
He's kicked the goal.
Delightful.
Daniel Connors probably said, you're a bit lucky on that occasion. He's, I've only kicked 3 goals, 5.
Yeah, could have 8, champ.
Simmons. And a free kick for a push. It might be a Richmond ball. It's Jack Rewalt's ball. So some pressure on Jack Rewalt to improve his kicking skills. He's directly out. And this should be bread and butter for a full forward.
It should be. He has kicked a couple of shockers. We heard the umpire saying your first action was to push him out. So here's an opportunity directly in front.
Have to kick these. At this level, and you're going to play forward, have to kick.
Well, that's got to be 50. Because he told him 3 times before he took a step back, Brett Kirk.
Money for Jam.
Well done.
For Jack. And takes off immediately, Daniel Jackson. Revolt. Tries to feet back on it. Hits the deck. Jude Bolton keeps his feet. Grundy. Shaw. Grundy. Waxing possessions. Roberts-Thompson. And another drop. Vickery. He's caught him. Did he throw that away? Revolt spins out of trouble and rolls a bit of gold. Points. They'll score another one or two. They'll at least make it look reasonably respectable in the paper tomorrow. Bolton fights on the ground. Kirk. Goods.
Good tackle.
Forced to give it up to Moore, and the two Moores are down there. Kelvin and Jarrett. Jarrett poked in the eye. McGlynn to his own advantage. Takes on post, gets a Shepherd, slips it inside to Goods.
Now, I was about to say a couple of moments ago, we saw a fantastic tackle from Daniel Connors. He stopped Adam Goods in full flight, tried to put the body swerve on, and he brought him to the ground. But Adam Goods got up and took off and ran 45 metres down into the pocket, and is the recipient of some good work from Ben McGlynn, who wins his own ball out wide and then drills the pass. That's just work rate from Adam Goods. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, his 30 seconds are up, Adam Goods.
I think that rule's gone out the window, Dwayne.
Is that where I didn't get the memo.
No, no, I know, but I cannot remember it being paid or even said to play on.
Right. Well, Matty Lloyd's retired. Goods kicks the goal.
Each other at the same time.
Samuel L. Jackson rather than Daniel. Cochin wobbles it inside 50. Grundy knocks it down to Revolt. He could finish with 4. Throws it on the boot. One last chance for a Tiger score. Rance down there. It's been Sydney's night. It's been their night all night. Huge win at home, first SCG game of the season, and that man, in his final season as an AFL coach, his 8th season, has a team that on current form could contend. 16-15, 111 to Richmond at 7-14-56, set up by a 10-goal-to-1 opening half